Hi everybody, welcome back. Alright, so yesterday we talked very briefly about the three methods that we use in a stack. Push, which allows us to put an element on the top of the stack. Pop, which allows us to take an element off the top of the stack. And peek, which allows us to just take a look at what is on top of that stack. So let's do that. Let's actually create those methods now. So I'm going to make a new method. It's going to be called public void push. And I'm going to accept an integer v. Alright, this stack is going to be a stack that contains integer values. You can have stacks that contain any type of data. And in fact, you can create a template for that if you wanted. But we're not going to cover that in this course. But anyway, so we have public void push that accepts an integer v. Now with this integer v, what we're going to do is we're going to create a new node to put on top of that stack. So I'm going to just use that single parameter node constructor that we wrote earlier. I'm then going to check to see if my stack is empty. If my stack is empty, then I can just set my top equal to my new node. No problem. Alright. If it's not empty, I can say new node dot next is equal to whatever is currently the top node. And then I can say that the top should now point to this new node. Alright, so that way the new node that goes on top, its next one is whatever was already on top of the stack, and now the top reference right over here that we have is going to point to that new node that we have. Alright, last thing we need to do, since we're keeping track of size, is say size plus plus. This will just make it so that every time we push a new element onto our stack, we increase this variable so we know, okay, we have one more element, all right, than we had previously. All right, so that's the push method. All right, let's write another method for pop. All right, this one's going to say public. Now this is not going to be a void method. This is actually going to be an integer method, so that returns an integer value. Since we're saying pop, we don't need to supply a parameter there because we don't know exactly what we're popping off the stack. We just know we're trying to pop something. All right. Now we're just gonna put a condition here that how about this? Why don't we say if is empty, we're going to say system.out.println underflow error. This is because we're trying to access elements when there aren't elements. That's what we're trying to access. We're trying to take out of an empty basket, essentially. And that's what we would consider an underflow error. All right. Then what we can do is say system.exit1. This will kill your program. Reason being, if someone's trying to pop an element and they're expecting to get an integer and they don't get an integer, their program is already broken anyway. So let's kill it before we do more damage. And then last, just so that we have a return value, because you need to have a return value of an integer for something like this, we'll just return -1. This line will never actually ever be reached because this line right here will kill the program. Just putting that out there. Oh, you know what? We don't even need to do that. Why don't we just... Yeah, we'll do that. You know, we could just write one return statement, but this just makes our life slightly easier. Else, so we'll create a variable called node popped node. We'll set that equal to what is currently the top. We will then set the top equal to the next element, so top.next. We'll say size minus minus, because we're decreasing in the size. And then we can return popped node dot value. Alrighty. I think we're doing pretty well so far. Alright, and lastly, alright, so what this does, this returns whatever value it is that we're taking off the top of the stack. Sorry, I just didn't explain that. Alright, no problem. And then lastly, public int peak just allows us to see what that top element is, but not change the stack at all. And to do that, let's just copy what we have in pop. It's going to be essentially the same if it's empty. It's still an underflow error. But now, if we in the else, we could just say return top.value. Okay. One little edit that I noticed while we were doing this. We keep on directly referencing top.value and top.next, but over here we actually made these private methods. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to get rid of that private identifier in the node class. What this does is it gives it just the default value, which won't necessarily be public since this is a private class. No other classes or anyone else will be able to access it, but we'll be able to access it in the outer class, the parent class, as it were. All right. So we have these three methods, and with that, we should be able to actually use our stack to do things. All right. Let's hope that we haven't made any serious errors. In fact, I'm just going to run this real quick to see if there's any red text that comes up. Okay, whew, we dodged that one. All right, so I'm going to say, let's just create a stack first and test that out. We'll say stack s1 is equal to new stack. All right, and let's just do a for loop. Let's say for int I equals 0, I is less than 10, I plus equals 2. We usually do I plus plus or I minus minus, but you can do any incrementation. So this will go up by 2 every time. And what I'll say is s1 dot push I. So what this will do is this will push 0, 2, 4, 6, and 8 onto the stack. All right, that's what should happen. Let's see if we get any errors so far. So far, so good. Then what I can do is I could say while s1 dot is empty, and I'm just going to put an exclamation point in front of that, which is essentially saying while s1 is not empty, because that exclamation point means not. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to say system.out.println s1.pop. All right, and hopefully if I did everything right, it should print out those numbers that we pushed, 0, 2, 4, 6, and 8 in reverse order, because we're taking off 8, 6, 4, 2, and 0 in that order. Let's see if that works. And it does. All right. So that is a very basic stack. Yeah. We're going to be talking about more data structures as the weeks go on. Tomorrow, what I'll do is I will post another assignment where you can read up on queues and doubly linked lists. I think we're going to be doing queues, but you know, things might change depending on how well people are doing with this. But I'll keep you guys posted on that. We'll have another reading, and then I'll give you guys a video that you can optionally do on Friday or on the following Monday. All right, because I do want to see if people want to work over the weekend, they can and get ahead of things. Because I know a lot of you are struggling to get things done at a timely manner, and I want to give you guys as much time as possible to get things done. Anyway, please don't forget to do the daily attendance. Some of you guys have been slacking. And yeah, I hope this video finds you well. Have a great day, everybody.